Mrs. Anne Jones, MBE.
Good evening. Our first Human Rights Award is given for bravery and persistence in the face of tragedy and adversity. We have heard tonight about the dangers of Prozac and antidepressant drugs, and how their use is nothing more than a sickening abuse for profit by psychiatrists and drug companies. The statistics of suicide and death as a result of prescribed psychiatric drugs continues to grow. But as always, every statistic is also a personal story and illustrates the misfortune and heartbreak that is the real human cost of such abuse. Linda Hurcombe is a mother, teacher, and successful author who, in 1998, experienced the tragic loss of her 19-year-old daughter, Caitlin. Caitlin's story is tragic and heart-wrenching. Here was a young woman with everything to live for, and who experienced the usual adolescent growing pains. After seeing the local drug company advertisement in a newspaper, Caitlin was convinced the new wonder drug, Prozac, could make her life much happier. Following a 7-minute interview with her doctor, where no medical tests were carried out, Caitlin was prescribed Prozac. 63 days later, she committed suicide by hanging. Here's a story, a video of Caitlin and Linda's story.
Caitlin, as a young girl, was a kind of bouncy, irrepressible, fun kid who loved making jokes and arguing with Mom. When she grew into teenage years, she was a perfectly normal teenager. Caitlin was a musician, and she was a very fine swimmer. When she was at the American School in London, she was on the swimming team. She was very musical. She had a very beautiful singing voice. She was also a member of the National Youth Theatre for a time. She came back from a holiday with her Uncle Roy in Seattle. She had seen an ad for antidepressants on television. She came back and said, "Mom, I want Prozac. You lose weight, you feel great. Everybody says it's the best thing since sliced bread. And in America, they always say, in England, you don't have to pay for them. You can get them free on the National Health Service." She was only 17 when this happened. When Caitlin did attend the doctor's surgery, she had a session that lasted approximately 7 minutes. She said that she was anxious about college, and she was sad about her children, and she was angry at Mom about an argument that we'd had, and so the doctor did prescribe Prozac. As far as I know, there was no a description whatsoever of any contraindications of these drugs during that session. There was another leaflet with the patient instructions that said, if you begin to feel worse, don't go off them. Please keep taking the medication. Almost unbearable things for me was looking through her diary and seeing that she numbered the days, and she had numbered right up to her birthday on June the 11th, from the date in February when she began. And of course she didn't live till her next birthday. On the last weekend of Caitlin's life, she displayed totally uncharacteristic behaviors, but she bunked off college. She carved an S on the back of her hand, and 3 strips with what looked like a Stanley knife or a razor blade, and she went berserk. And I ended up rescuing her from, it was like walking into hell. I pulled up at this street corner. My daughter had kicked in a shop window. She was having her hair pulled by her so-called friends. On the Sunday morning, I said, "I want you to go to the doctor. I'm worried. I'm really worried." We went together arm in arm, and the doctor who had prescribed the Prozac asked her if she thought Prozac might have anything to do with her behavior, and Caitlin said it might. Yes, it might. The doctor said she was going to refer Caitlin to a psychiatrist on the Monday to work in London for my publishers. Left her at 6:30 in the morning, kissed her goodbye. Don't worry, Mum, everything's going to be fine. When I came in from that 10:28 train, the music was blaring out at top decibels, and I turned the sound down and called her. I heard a scream from upstairs, "Linda, come upstairs now." So I went up, and Trish was trying to remove Caitlin from a beam in the guest bedroom where Caitlin was hanging. When I was holding her dear body in my arms, I lay down beside her, and I could feel her trying to get back into her body. And I know this sounds strange and maybe even mad, but there was a tactile sense in the room, "Mummy, I want to come back." And I think she probably really would like to be here. I began to lead up to the discovery of the relationship between Caitlin's death and the medication she was taking, when the coroner unequivocally said there was a therapeutic dose of fluoxetine hydrochloride in Caitlin Hurcombe's system and no other drug whatsoever. With the help of Dr. David Healy, I set up a self-help group for people suffering from withdrawal or from adverse reactions to antidepressant medications. And in the first year, I heard from hundreds, and by now it's thousands. And in my last book, which is called Depression, Healing Emotional Distress, I have used several of the people who have suffered these side effects from these very, very powerful psychoactive drugs. The most recent kind of targeting of my writing has been with the attempt on the part of the pharmaceutical companies to overturn the ban on psychoactive drugs, the ban on advertising them on national television. Of course, with Caitlin's background, this is a particularly horrific event. If the ban on advertising prescription medications is overturned in the EU, I think it will be a great tragedy, and I'll fight tooth and nail to stop it happening. I mean, when you think about it, you think about these people, they started out wanting to heal people, and all of a sudden it turns into, well, not all of a sudden, it evolves into this kind of global enterprise that's totally lost touch with human connections, totally lost touch with what it means to be a whole and healthy human being, and just follow the money, market the drug, And if it doesn't work in the West, send it off to the third world. I mean, it's absolutely disgusting. And I will continue to use whatever small influence I have to educate people and to inform people about the dangers of the drugs, and also about something positive, more healthy ways of looking at life.